And I'm really looking forward to the speech by Honorable Mohammed Abualini, who is the chairman and founder of Cleopatra Group. It was very refreshing listening to you at the last Africa Prosperity Dialogues. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Mohammed Abualini. I am from Egypt. I am the Vice President of Egyptian Parliament and also the President of Euromed Parliament. I'm really glad today to participate in such a great meeting, especially when we talk about Africa. Africa in my blood, Africa in my brain, and I'm really proud of what's happening now in the international market about the big awareness from all the most developed country about Africa. I have been held a lot of meetings in Russia, in Japan, in Tokyo, in Europe, and also in Egypt, talking about Africa and the potential of Africa. And the time that I'm so proud that today, all the African leaders and all the African institutions, all the African business community are talking about the potential of Africa with another brain, with another vision. This is what we are going to talk today, and this is what I wish to understand my experience as a businessman, which has more than experience in many sectors, in industry, in agriculture, in tourism, in football, in sports, in real estate, in a lot of other activity, which I'm so proud to make big achievement in Egypt, extended also to the Arabic countries. Indeed, today, when we talk about what's happening in Africa, of course, I know that there's a big awareness about what happened here in the United States from the President Trump when he changed the tariff. And everybody in Africa is so aware that's happening, and maybe it's going to affect his exportation to the United States. And this is we're reluctant also his development and exportation outside. But in studying the number, I see that it's not a big effect. It's true. What we talk about all Africa doesn't represent even 1% of the total exportation to United States. What I want to say that Africa is more strong. Africa has a big potential. Africa, yesterday we have a forum, also a very important conference, which will talk about the Africa potential, which we can develop and can also make a joint venture, can also change the idea of the aids coming from outside to investment to be win-win. How to make these one things? And I think the first decision is to draw our new vision. This is very important for any direct for the FTA. It's very important that the investors come to see that this continent is connected together. And when you discuss about finance, or Africa potential for mineral, or Africa potential for gas, or Africa potential for renewable energy, or for all the this kind of minerals, which represent a big importance issue for the most and smart modern industries, I think is a time to talk globally. And this is one of the tasks for the president, all the president and African Union has to see a new way of discussion, not to talk each country to other in Europe or China or America. No, I believe the potential of 54 different countries has to draw the new vision and also has to talk globally. When I mean globally, is when you discuss about terms of finance or terms of investment or terms of exportation of raw material, I think you have to put some limitation and some terms with our partner. Now, the big tension of all these developing countries to come here to Africa to take the gold or take diamond or cobalt or lithium or manganese or copper or all these things is rare material now. And it has a big issue for the modern industry. is representing a big part of component and the pricing. And the pricing with the raw material doesn't represent the real value. Maybe they added 20 or 50 or 100 times for the raw material value. I believe that the first issue now, as we understand before, so I give you some experience of what happened before, even until now. When you go to have a borrow money from outside to Africa, they say there is Paris Club. The Paris Club is the one which give you a certificate that you can borrow, you can have money, you can, or you have a problem, or have a limitation of talking about the guarantee. But today, what about Africa? Is not the time to talk about Africa Club for finance? This is the first thing which I want to talk. Africa Club for Finance is calling all the African leaders to say, okay, we are going to ask for special terms for developing our continent. And to do this, we need to talk how to develop and how to give the privilege to the foreign direct investors. We don't need, as you say here, we don't need help, we don't need aid, but we need investors to come with the technology, with the know-how, come with the special terms to develop country, come to use our youth people, which represent the continent. How to make this, of course, we need education, we need skill in our youth people. How to make this skill, we need multi-international, the multinational companies, the industries comes to invest in Africa, to make some industry in Africa. So in this case, if it's happening with a special terms, with a special facility, with the encouragement of the government, and also support legislation to support this foreign direct investment, they can come to Africa, use the raw material Africa, realize the added value for the raw material, right one, and in the meantime, educate and learn and build the skills of the African human sources. In the same time, we are going to start to talk about Africa export, and the Africa exportation to all the other countries already has added value. So the African product start to appear in the international market. Of course, this story, when you talk about African Club for Finance, can be also African Club for all the material. This rare material, which has a value, must have also club to discuss globally as African continent. I think this idea can be done. Of course, to make industry and to call the foreign direct investment, you have to have a stable country. You have a legislation which encourage and support the foreign direct investors to be equalized between the foreign direct investors with the local investors, and also in the meantime to see that you are making the climb of the investment happy. Means happy that the infrastructure is there, a specialized industrial zone. This is very important issue now, which make also the China in top level of development. They make a complete city only for a specialized industrial product. For example, this is a zone to produce cars. So all the components of the car has to be located there. They call the multinational company to start to produce cars, to start to produce other company come to produce the component of the cars, and all of them together has a school outside or university beside in order to educate the human resources. This is how to make and how to implement the industry. So you need, first of all, to draw your vision about your map, investment map, where you locate these industries, where can be located in each country, and what is the encouragement of the government, which has to encourage the people to come there to encourage the foreign direct investors. Who is going to finance this with special terms of financing? This is very important, which has to be globally discussed with the financing institution outside. I believe a lot of things has to be done. Africa is worthy to be #1 continent and very rich continent, rich with the sources, rich with the people, rich with the intelligence. And I'm happy if you just study the development happened among the past 10 years, you see how it's more than 1,000 catalyst of technology and know-how. This is very important in order to transfer a lot of things and to give the knowledge to the other people. How many universities? I just gave you an example of Egypt. Egypt has been increased the number of universities from 50 to 136 in 10 years. This globally are a connection between all the modern technology worldwide, in China, in Japan, in Europe, in America. You have all these things in Egypt. This is the door is open for all the African continent, all the African people to come to be studied. This is in Egypt. And also the model of this specialized industrial zone, we have it in Suez, we have also in Port Said, we have it also in North and South Egypt. We have a lot of other idea to implement it already, and this could be a good example to all Africa. Indeed, I have a lot to talk and a lot of idea to discuss with you, but I'm proud to be African. I'm proud all of you, and I have to go now because we have a very, very important meeting in the United Nations. It is a declaration of the Palestinian state. This is a very important issue. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope next meeting is going to be in Egypt and we celebrate more and more. Thank you, all the best. Thank you. Thank you.